All right, now that we are recording, I can say welcome everyone to the April workshop of Autism Empowerment's Neurodivergent Creators Collective. Thank you all so much for being here with us. This month we have kind of a special subject. We're going to be talking about our year one highlights because the Neurodivergent Creators Collective started last April, and we have been around for a year, which I find hard to believe, frankly. It just went by so fast, and we've done a lot of fun, good stuff in that year. So we're excited to kind of do a recap, talk about some of the highlights of some of our workshops, and then we're going to go into what we have coming up next, and we'll do kind of a Ask Me Anything and question and answer sessions. So I am Brian Tashima. I am the program coordinator for the Neurodivergent Careers Collective, which is a program of autism empowerment, and we are joined by Karen Krejcha and John Krejcha. Karen is the executive director, John is the programs director, and they are the co-founders of Autism Empowerment, which is the nonprofit organization which has been around for almost 15 years now. So, we are the NCC is just a relatively new program of autism empowerment. So, and just a little bit about me. I am an author, filmmaker, musician, and I'm also celebrating a 1 year anniversary of sorts because it was April of last year that I was officially diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum myself. So that's another special 1 year anniversary for myself personally. So, um, Karen, did you want to say anything?
I,
Introduction?
I'll say a couple words. Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Krejcha, as Brian introduced. My husband, John Krejcha, is behind the scenes. He's going to be helping to proctor the chat. As Brian said, we are coming up on our 15-year anniversary of Autism Empowerment. And also, if you're not aware, we produce a magazine each quarter called Spectrum Life Magazine. And our summer issue is going to be our 10th anniversary for that. So we're totally jazzed to have you here. We have some people that are brand new, and we have some people that have been at a lot of different workshops, and we absolutely welcome you both. This will be a great opportunity to get our newcomers caught up, and you can still access all the goodness that we had earlier in the year. So thank you for
Sure.
being here.
Thanks, Karen. And just a little note, we will have a special raffle drawing for those staying until the end of the workshop today. I will be giving away a couple of copies of the first book in my novel series, the Joel Suzuki series of young adult science fiction fantasy books. And I believe we're also giving away a couple of t-shirts, correct?
Yes, indeed. And Brian's actually modeling one of those t-shirts in the photo there.
In the photo and here live. I have
And
the orange one and then
yes.
the I had the green one there in the picture. And oh, here, by the way, let me put something in the chat real quick. So this is a link to we have an official Neurodivergent Careers Collective page on the Autism Empowerment website, and I put a link to the upcoming events. And if you scroll down under the entry for today's workshop, you'll see that we have some downloadables like workshop slides that you can use for note taking and a guide if you want to download those and use those during the workshop. You can feel free to do so. Um, and as the slide says, everyone will get a free downloadable Neurodivergent Creators Collective resource guide. So, yeah, I guess we can move on to the next slide. So we'll start by talking about the origin story, as I like to say, of the Neurodivergent Creators Collective. So earlier I mentioned that I am a filmmaker, and I premiered a short film that I wrote, directed, and produced in January of 2025 at Kiggins Theater. Those of you in Vancouver, Washington, are probably familiar with it. And at the premiere screening of the film, before the film started, when we had some people doing some speeches, Karen gave a very inspirational speech about supporting the autism and neurodivergent community, especially when it comes to creativity and the arts and things like that. And one person in attendance at the screening was a professional actor named Gwyn Laree, who I had met earlier at a like a filmmakers group in Battleground, and we had become friends, and I had invited her to the screening, so she was there. And I guess after that, she approached us about putting together some kind of program that would help do instruction and workshops and provide opportunities for autistic and neurodivergent creators, people in the art space. And it was a great idea, and it was something that I think Karen and John were also thinking about doing, for years prior to that as well. So it was kind of like, very serendipitous. I think that it came together at that time. So we had some meetings, we had some discussions, and the Neurodivergent Creators Collective was born, and we kicked it off again, like last April. I think we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so on April 26th, we had our virtual launch informational event, which was, kind of similar to what we're doing now. It was just, we're online and we're talking about the program and, what we were wanting to do and, kind of the things that our goals and what we wanted to offer. So, yeah, so that was our official launch date was just about, a year and a little less than a year and a week ago. So yeah, so that was our first event. And then we started going into our monthly workshops, which is one of the first things that we started doing. And I think we can go to the next one. So we kicked it off in May 24th of last year with an introduction to filmmaking. And it was presented by Gwen and myself. Like I mentioned, Gwen is a professional actor, and I am a not as professional filmmaker, but I did have an experience with it. So I, was able to share what I had gained or what I had learned from my experience of, putting together an independent short film. So, we talked about things like and entry points into filmmaking. We covered some details like what's known as above the line and below the line departments. Above the line being like kind of like director, producer, and below the line is kind of like other staff uh, members. There's we have some more details in the sorry, can we go back real quick? Yeah, and then so we talked about how the different departments, with different crew members from above the line, below the line, cast and crew come together to produce a film. And Gwen spoke from her experience, acting in films. I spoke from my experience in producing my short film, and then we had it as a hybrid presentation where we were both live at Stephen's place, which I see, Stephen's place is there here today with us. So we had it live there, and we also were presenting it online at the same time. So you can see there's Gwen and myself in the left picture there, and there's me on the right talking about my film was called Hold My Beer, by the way. So yeah, so that was our first real workshop, and it was a great success, I think. Pretty well received. Hopefully we were able to give some good information about the subject of filmmaking. So yeah, as mentioned in the chat, we have presentation slides on our website and above. So moving on, in June 22nd of last year, we had Introduction to Voiceover and Podcasting, where Gwen and Karen spoke about things like traits for voiceover actors. Because Gwen, in addition to doing live action, she had experience in doing voiceover as well. So she spoke about traits for voiceover actors, different kinds of fields that voiceover actors can go into. Um, and we talked about what is a podcast. I think Karen kind of moved into the podcasting portion, and we talked about types and formats of podcasts, and how to get started with podcasting, marketing and monetization, and subjects related to the whole podcasting world. So um, that was another. We did that hybrid as well, right? I can't
Yes, we
remember.
did.
Okay.
And can I say something on that really quickly?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the hybrid model, that was something that was really new to all of us. So all of these, well, almost all of these presentations are going to be available for you to go back and be able to watch. So we'll provide a guide at the end that can give you YouTube links so that you can go back and watch the ones that are of interest to you. But I'll tell you, being a new organization or new new collective. We had, some bumps to try to work out on how to film at the same time as being hybrid with the Zoom. So it was a fun experience, and yeah. So that was a blast. And in addition to the workshops that we had, we also, in a lot of them, had handouts and different types of things that you could use as supplemental learning. And so we'll be including that as well at the end.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
Sure.
And then in July, we had my introduction to independent writing and publishing workshop because I am also a novelist. I have the Joe Suzuki series, which is a 7 book series, young adult science fiction fantasy featuring main characters who are on the autism spectrum. And so I talked about, I'm independently published, self-published. So I talked about my experiences in that field, talking about like resources to tell, that teach you how to write books and books about writing books. Some tips on getting started, what your next steps are after you have a manuscript, and the publishing side of it, and marketing your book, and just kind of the whole world of putting out a independently published novel that is on par quality wise with stuff that you see from traditional publishers. Um, so that was a fun workshop, and I guess we can move on to the next one. I'm sorry, Karen. I think you were supposed to introduce the slides, and then I was supposed. I,
You
I
know
just I
what?
love to talk. I love the sound of my own voice. I'm sorry. So,
You are absolutely good. You're rocking it. I mean, I can do the little introduction just to give your voice a breather, but then I'll let you. I don't know. We're all good here. We're all good.
okay.
Um, in August 30th, we had Gwen back. And this was also, I think it was our hybrid presentation as well for creating characters. What makes a character interesting, believable, and memorable to your audience?
Yeah, so Gwen has a lot of experience in that area. So she spoke about what is a character, the anatomy of a character, the what, when, what,
Who, what,
who,
when,
what, when, why. Am I
where,
getting all that right? Yeah, the 5 W's
who,
and
what,
how.
where, when, why, and how.
Yeah. Um, Getting to know your character, making your character connect with your audience. So that was a really informative workshop. And yeah, so that was last August.
And then in September, we had a special treat. We had writer Meg Eden do learning, writing, and storytelling from video games. And Brian had a special relationship with Meg.
Yeah, yeah. I actually knew Meg prior to this, and because she's an author and we're fellow authors. We were actually featured on like an interview on for different programs a while back, and she had written a book called High School. I forgot what it was called. Post High School Reality Quest, which was kind of about this. The main character was, her life was like she was actually in a real life video game, and I was a huge fan of that book. It was really good. It was one of those books that I wish I had written. So that's kind of the highest praise that yeah an author can give another author. So I was really excited that Meg had agreed to be a presenter for one of our workshops. She's on the East Coast. She's out of this area. So this was we did this one as an online only workshop. And but she did a great job. She's a professional educator as well as an author. So she has a lot of experience in doing these kinds of presentations. She talked about how environment tells a story, giving visual clues to help build the story that you're trying to tell, how stories are built across multiple creative mediums, and she even gave us some writing exercises that we could use in the process. She also she had an example of she showed some video footage from actual video games, and kind of like walked us through it and kind of showed it as an example of how you can how storytelling in video games is so effective, especially nowadays. I mean, the quality of storytelling in video games has really come quite a long ways. It's like some of the video games out there have like just great stories that are even sometimes I think better, that stuff. That's, like, in TV and film. But yeah, so she was able to show us some examples of that. And so that was a really great presentation. We'll go next slide. And then, oh, go ahead.
That's okay. So this was really neat. We had our first panel discussion moderated by Brian. It was storytelling for publication and production. And we had different neurodivergent creatives in different fields, including Alexandra Halliburton, Trilanda Lowe, and Karen Massing, in addition to Brian.
Yeah, and like Karen said, that was our first panel discussion, which was a lot of fun. We talked about bringing ideas to life, challenges, that neurodivergent creators can face, and how you can kind of like deal with or overcome those challenges. We talked about breakthrough moments, moving stories from imagination into reality, and so the three panelists that we had, they have extensive experience in a variety of different creative fields. They wear a whole lot of different hats, from directing, producing, animating, teaching, and so that was a really fun and informative panel. Gwen actually was instrumental in organizing it. She knew the three panelists, so so we thank her for helping us to organize that one. So that was a lot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really good. And one of the neat things I liked about it too was that, people were able to ask questions in the chat. And so it was, you always get some additional goodness when you have answers from the audience as well, questions and answers from the audience. So in November, my husband John and I, as you can see in those pictures, we're a little bit younger then. We did a workshop called Storytelling for Good, turning your story into purpose. And, as Brian kind of mentioned in the beginning, we had, prior to the Neurodivergent Creators Collective, we had always been big proponents of the importance of storytelling, not just from a fictional perspective, but from an advocacy perspective, because we all believe that everybody has gifts to give and strengths to share. And we can all use our testimony to be able to tell our own story. And we feel that that's so important to do because a lot of times, there's somebody out there that's waiting to hear what you have to say. And, especially in the autism community, a lot of us who are diagnosed maybe later in life, we can tell stories that are relatable to other people who are just new and coming into the diagnosis. Each one of you have a story to tell. And it's, when we did the workshop, Brian, do you want to go cover this or do you want me to cover this slide?
I think I'll let you do this one since this was your workshop.
Okay, okay. So what we did in that workshop is we used a framework called the light switch method, which is listen, um, identify, give, honor, and transform, and then adding love into it, and essentially turning your story into purpose. And so we had John and I had the opportunity to just kind of give an introduction to that. This is an area that I have a really big passion for. And in the future, we'd like to be able to do more of that. So that's about all I have to say on that. We talked about why storytelling matters, what storytelling for good is, and how every one of us, whether we're telling a story through our voice or in writing or in our art or in poetry, we all have something to be able to share.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. And that was a really great presentation. So, by the way, I want to interject here that for those of you who are new to the Neurodivergent Careers Collective, all of our offerings are free. The workshops, our chill and chats, the mentorships that we offer, everything is at no charge. So, just want to make that clear. And then in December, go ahead.
Oh, yes. In December, this was really awesome because we had an interview with Nick Novicki. Now, he is an actor and a comedian. He's also neurodivergent. and he is the founder of the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. And for those of you who subscribe or who pick up free copies of our Spectrum Life magazine, in our winter issue last year, we also did a complimentary interview with him as well, and in the recreation section, and that was just tremendous. So I'll let Brian take it away.
Thank you. So yeah, so that we had Nick on to talk about the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. Nick is, by the way, he has a really impressive list of credits. He has been in The Sopranos. He did a voice role in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Just a whole lot of TV show and film that he's been in. So very successful actor, comedian. And he started the Disability Film Challenge, which is it happens every like March, April or so, where like teams of filmmakers come together, and they're given you're given like a genre, like if it's a thriller or science fiction or whatever, what have you, or buddy comedy, or like they every year they pick a different genre, and you don't know it until actually the week of, like after you register, but you don't know what it is. So you can't really prepare until the challenge actually starts, and then you have like a week to put together like a short film. So it's really kind of it's a fun fun kind of challenge, and I've seen a bunch of the previous entries, and everybody does such a really great job. It's really impressive and kind of intimidating to me actually personally, but people have done pretty awesome. There's a question about how long the films are. They're all pretty short. I think like I'm not sure if I forget if there was an actual like a limit, but the ones I saw are like 5-ish minutes or so. So Karen put a
Mhm.
link to the website in the chat. So
Yeah,
there are more details.
yeah, I just wanted to add in that they just recently put on their YouTube channel all of the film entries for this year. It was dramedy. And so they had a record-breaking number of submissions. And in fact, there is a member, and I don't know if they're on this call right now, but who had posted in our Facebook group, which we'll put the link into later, a copy of their film that they had done. And so there are a bunch of fun short films, and we invite you to go check out the different ones there. It's just a really neat opportunity for people to practice filmmaking, and you have people, of all different backgrounds and ability levels. So,
Drew, next
yeah.
slide.
Okay, so in February of this year, we took the month off in January, but in February of this year, we had Edward Martin III from Hellbender Media come and do a low budget filmmaking, lighting, and cinematography basics presentation.
And Edward is kind of the embodiment of prolific because he has like over 150 credits, I think, just in a whole bunch of different things. Not only just film, but other like other writing and other creative projects. So he's a very very experienced creator, and he was a great presenter. It was a wonderful workshop. There's so much information that along with the Q&A, we ended up, it was scheduled, like all our workshops are scheduled to be like an hour. From this one was from 2 to 3. I think we ended up going like an hour over. We ended up going to like 4 o'clock. Yeah, there you go. It says extended 2-hour presentation with the Q&A. Well, and it was great. I mean, there was so much value in it that, it was, and the time just kind of went by. I couldn't believe, like, what, whoa, wait a minute. Like it's 4 o'clock already. So it was a lot of fun. Um, and he talked about kind of the basics of low budget filmmaking. Kind of went over not only lighting and cinematography, but a lot of other subjects as well that he touched on. So when he did talk about lighting, he talked about how it shapes the mood, how it guides the audience's attention, and strengthens the scenes. But again, like I said, he went into a bunch of other different topics, that covered, pre-production. We even talked about like craft services and things like that. So yeah, it was really awesome. We're grateful for Edward, and again, credit as well to Gwen because she arranged it with him to to present for us. So
Yeah, it's so neat to be able to tap into the talent locally because he is from the Portland area. And when you get our resource guide later, he has a website, Hellbender Media, but he has a section just for low budget filmmaking tips. So he does a blog about that. And it's just so much information. And we were really grateful for him. He was so kind in terms of being able to answer every single question that was there. So we actually, I think he would have stayed probably even longer if we hadn't said, okay, at some point,
yeah,
at some point, we probably need to end this. But yeah,
yeah,
that's a fun one to watch.
he was very gracious.
Yeah. And speaking of another local person who has an amazing amount of talent, we had Martin Vavra from Galaxy Sailor Publications in for our last workshop, March 21st, editing a short film.
And Martin also has a very long list of credits and a lot of experience, as well as he teaches filmmaking classes here in the Portland area as well. So he has a lot of knowledge and experience in instruction and teaching. And he's worked on things like Grimm. You probably heard of that on NBC. And so he took us, kind of behind the scenes of editing. He shared his screen. He pulled up, one of the editing programs that he uses and showed us, actual real examples. We talked about organizing your footage, syncing the audio. Uh, Talked about like we things called J cuts and L cuts, and explained what that is. Building rough cuts of your film using different types of tools. We talked about the different kinds of editing programs available. So yeah, so that was another good one. And again, Gwen also arranged that as well. So
And I would say to the people that are tuning in that we all of these workshops so far have been we've tried to develop them to be beginner friendly. I would say that the workshops with Martin and Edward also leaned more on the intermediate side. So if you are absolutely brand new, you can still get a lot out of it. But if you have had more experience, those are definitely ones to be able to tap into as well. So we have a goal of being able to meet people where they're at, and we want people to feel, comfortable from brand new beginning experience to people who are advanced and working now regularly in the field. So. As far as possible future workshop topics, I'll let you talk about this, Bri.
okay, yeah. So after Martin's workshop, that kind of catches us up to the present here, April of 2026. So now we're looking ahead to possible future workshop topics, which include ideas like documentary filmmaking. I actually know a couple of great documentary filmmakers who I will be reaching out to. We were thinking about actually bringing back both Edward and Martin for setting up a video podcast and pre-production planning. And another idea was songwriting for anybody who's interested in music and songwriting. I am also a musician. I've been playing in bands. I play guitar and sing and write songs. I've been doing it my whole life. Some of my songs have been licensed for use on TV, like the Golf Channel, Access Hollywood, CW, things like that. So I know a little bit about songwriting. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm, overly successful, but I know a little bit about what goes into it. So we're probably gonna have a workshop to talk about that as well. Um, I see some good ideas are coming up in the chat. Let's see.
Yeah, these are a lot of fun. Do you want to say the ideas out loud for the replay?
Yeah, yeah. So it says you should invite Jessica Baruva, aka Afmao, and have her show us what it's like to make Minecraft videos and how she and her friends bring the characters to life. I will look into that. And we have musical theater, comedy farce. Oh, and invite, I guess, Jessica's friends as well. So, how do I make a note of that so for future reference?
So we will have the recording and then I will get you the notes from the meeting notes from here. So
Okay.
yeah. And if anybody else, we totally welcome your ideas because we want to, do topics that you're interested in, and I'll show up too. And so if you have ideas right now, or if you're at 3 in the morning, say, you know what, I have that idea. You can reach out to us. You can either send email or you can join our Facebook group if you're on Facebook and put it there. We're open.
Oh, here's another suggestion, a workshop on the basics of storyboarding. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That is good. That is
We
good. And we're looking, to potentially partner with other groups that are in this field. It's for us, it's not about competition. It's about being able to work together so that we can all rise and shine. So, you know, um, we're going to be reaching out to different groups around the country. If you guys know of different ones or again, instructors, that would be helpful as well. We're always open to hearing your ideas.
And here's another idea, using script writing software as well as music audio recording software. It's a good one. And how to make stories come to life with writing. Ooh, these are all good. Keep them coming.
Yeah. These are great.
You should also invite Annalisa Fisher, the English VA for Firefly in Honkai Star Rail. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. I will
Yeah.
look into that. So yeah, cool,
Yeah,
cool. All right.
it's really important. I'm autistic. Brian said before he's autistic. We've had most of the people who have presented are either autistic or neurodivergent in some way. In fact, I think all of them are. All of them have been, yes. But that's something that's really integral for us because we want to be able to, present and talk in ways that are going to be relatable. We want everybody to feel comfortable. So, yeah, especially people in the field, feel free to send us the information.
And it says, you all are such engaging and well, oh, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Um, Yes, what else have we done? We do more than just the monthly workshops. We have we have what we call the Creators Corner articles. So in Spectrum Life magazine, which Karen mentioned before, we always have like a 2-page article talking about what we've done, what's coming up, and in future articles we'll have things like kind of like tips on craft and maybe announcements of what some members are up to. Like in the past, we've had some announcements about one of our members is a feature is a subject of a documentary film that's supposed to be coming out probably next month in May, and so we've talked about that film in the article, and so we'll have more of that as we go along. We also do what we call the Chillin' Chats, which is the first Saturday of most months, unless there's like a holiday. I think the first Saturday of this July is July 4th, so we're not going to have it that Saturday, but we'll have the next Saturday. But usually it's the first Saturday of the month, and those are just kind of informal Saturday afternoon sessions. Like this, but without the recording, and you can have camera on or off. It's very, it's very just informal, and people can talk about what they've been working on, or share ideas. We've actually had some people like make connections for collaborations before in those sessions, which was really cool to see. And yeah, just kind of relaxed and informal. We have another comment that says there are some professional actors and musicians that are on the spectrum. Autistic singer named Scott James, who about 5 or so years ago made a song called "Through My Eyes" after he had been diagnosed with autism. I did not know that. I will check that out. Um, Thanks for that. Thanks for that suggestion. John also mentioned that the chill and chat sessions they are on Zoom, they're online, and they're 3 p.m. Pacific time. Um, and we also have our Facebook group, which we talked about. So if you are on Facebook, I know not everybody is, but if you are, we've had posts in there that like we'll post like opportunities. I've had a couple of things where like there were some opportunities for internships in the film industry offered by several organizations in the area, or like opportunities for other workshops and trainings. Like Martin's, we posted about Martin's filmmaking class in the Facebook group, as well as announcements about members and their, like if they have an event going on. Like if they're putting on some kind of like a play or something like that, then we'll go ahead and post announcements about that in the Facebook group. We've had a suggestion in a past session about Discord. So I'm on Discord, but I don't use it a whole lot. So we're just gonna kind of look into that. But if we do start doing that more, we'll make an announcement and let everybody know. So that's kind of what else we've been up to. Oh yeah, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah, there is more. We've had educational videos. Myself, Gwen, we've done videos about craft, and like I talked about writing. Gwen did some stuff about talking about acting. Some breathing exercises and things like that. Those are up on our website as well as our YouTube channel, and they're just kind of short instructional videos that you can watch, anytime. We've done mentoring sessions, both formal and informal. I offered a few mentoring sessions last September to talk about independent writing and publishing. So, like they were like one-on-one sessions on Zoom. I offered a few of those. They actually like people signed up. They got booked up immediately, which is which is fun, and that was cool to see. Um, we also do informal mentoring where like kind of just by email, like people have been reaching out, um, and kind of like talking about, well, this is the project I'm working on, like, what do you think about this? Or like, I've had people send in like, kind of like, their scripts or just kind of, their ideas and, just kind of asking for advice or for guidance. And so I've been doing a lot of that kind of informal email mentoring. And, if I don't know the answer, then I'll try to find like who can help you or like just kind of some resources that I can point you to. So we do have our online resource library, which I think is in the chat. The link to that is in the chat, which we put all of our past workshops and other resources outside of what we provide, that we find to be helpful. So and again, if you have ideas or suggestions for anything else you'd like to see us do, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, I wanted to say about the excuse me, about the resource library. That's something where we also include resources that our members have shared with us. So, for example, one of the members in Chill and Chat is in Portland and told us about this great group that allows you to check out equipment for free, like if you're going to be making a film and things like that. So we try to include all sorts of different things, whether it's about something that we're doing at the Neurodivergent Creators Collective, or whether it be another group that's in the creative field somewhere that works with us. So if you have not already checked out the library, we invite you to do so because we do update that as well. I would recommend bookmarking it because I do the updates on that usually about once a month. And you can always email us any resources that you have, and we'll add those to those pages as well.
Cool. We have another suggestion. It says maybe have a special group section on the Facebook page for group feedback on projects. Ooh, I don't know how to do that, but we can try to find out. Um, and oh, what day is the Autism Empowerment Picnic? Ah, there we go. Saturday, August 1st at Kleinline Park in Salmon Creek. What time? What
11 to
time?
3, 11 to
11.
2, or John knows.
Okay, so what's next? Karen, you want to talk about these a little bit?
Okay. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. So we plan to have an expanded online learning hub as we continue to grow. We want to have not only, the workshops that we do live available, but we also want to have things that are on demand. So we want to be able to have business planning workshops. So, for example, putting together a portfolio, or you have done a lot of creative work, but you're not sure how to market your work. What are steps that you can take to do that? How do you make connections and network with other people in the industry? So we want to put together a series starting this fall that people can tune into on demand and be able to have it be sort of an evergreen session so that you can you can watch it at any time that's convenient for you. And in addition to the business planning workshops for the Online Learning Hub, we're willing to put together, more videos that might be of, interest that you have that kind of complement the things that like Brian has put together before about independent writing. If there's specific topics that we have experts that can talk about, can put a little video together for you, that's something that we're open to doing as well. So we're going to listen to your suggestions and continue to offer different things in that area. We're also applying for grant funding to be able to potentially create a behind the scenes community. So, as Brian was talking before about Discord, that we want to be able to have a place since we know that a lot of our people aren't on Facebook. So we want to be able eventually to have some sort of an online community that people can log in and plug into and have some sort of forum. That's for down the road since we don't have the funding for it, but those are the kinds of things that we're thinking about. And opportunities with community partners. We're going to be we're likely going to be featuring Fame. I don't know if any of you locals have heard of that. They're out of Portland. They do a lot of training in acting and filmmaking and different types of workshops. We're going to feature them and what they're up to because they have a new building and had just recently expanded. And then, yeah, the meet and greet at the Autism Empowerment Picnic. So most years, Autism Empowerment has an annual picnic. We took a few years off in the COVID period, but this is a picnic that is for everybody who we serve. But usually we get about 100, 150 people, and we want to have some sort of AE-NCC meet and greet. We had a table out there that last year with information, but it would be really fun for our local folks to be able to have a chance to connect out there. So it's free. And we will have a flyer later. If you aren't on our email list, please do get on that because all the goodness is going to be, shared with you. We'll give you invitations that way. So in case you're not on Facebook, that's another way to be able to hear about what we have available for you.
Cool. And here we are at the Ask Me Anything section, and perfect timing because we have some good questions coming in the chat. So, Jay asks, curious how you started the group and found others interested in the topics. And I think when the Neurodivergent Creators Collective started, we were fortunate to have kind of to be able to leverage the infrastructure already in place from Autism Empowerment because, like I said, Autism Empowerment has been around for almost 15 years. So we've already kind of laid the groundwork in the community. So we were able to kind of tap into that and say, hey, this is a new thing that Autism Empowerment is offering, and it kind of helped us get kind of like a jump start or a head start, anyways. So. Is that does that kind of answer it? Karen, do you have another slant on that or?
No, I mean, I think you answered that very well.
Okay, thank you. Um, what advice can you give about starting a group in your own hometown, or can we eventually start other branches of the org in different locations? Um, hmm, I don't know. What do you think about that, Karen?
I think branches of the organization, like different chapters, that would be a pretty cool thing. Right now, we haven't had any plans for that, but starting a group, I mean, we might be able to put together some sort of guide, some like on how you could start that. We've done that with other groups. We have an Autism Serves volunteerism program, and people have wanted to put those together in other areas. And so we put together kind of like like a how-to guide of starting something in your area. And so, yeah, we can we can be able to do that. As far as advice goes, I would suggest if you're involved in any disability related groups in your hometown, or I would take a look to see, first off, what might be available and who you might be able to partner with. Because if you can get your group underneath the umbrella of, say, a 501(c)(3) organization, then they might be able to provide you space if you want to do your group in person. They might also be able to provide you resources. And when you do fundraising potentially, the money can go through the 501(c)(3) and it's tax deductible for people. So that's an opportunity for people to be able to support your group. Um, let's see, other things. I would check into seeing what other types of meetups might be available. You know, a lot of times too, people, there are a lot of us who are neurodivergent in the creative fields, but we're not necessarily advertising that, you know, so you have a lot of people. So if you look in your meetup groups, there's a place called meetup.com and see if you have any groups that might be available for a particular topic. If you have a certain passion, like say it's filmmaking or writing or those kinds of things, that might be a place to be able to, you know, kind of put out feelers and say, hey, would anybody be interested if we started a group? And just trying to find your people, you know? So those are just a few things off the top of my head. It takes me a little bit to process these things. So I could maybe put answers to that in a short video too that we could put up on
I have a
YouTube.
question. I heard of a show on Netflix. Does the name Live on the Spectrum ring any bells? All
Yes,
right.
I have seen most of it, and we actually had contact with one of the producers for that show. When they were doing a casting call, they were looking for
Oh,
people to be on the show. So we actually put up their flyer on our Facebook page, for
nice.
anybody who is interested in, possibly trying to be on the show. So yeah, it's a good show. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, and fun.
I have a quick fun fact about that as well. A member of our Autism We Embrace support group was actually in the final stages of casting for that
Oh
from the
wow,
Portland area. So we
nice.
actually might have someone from the Portland area coming that's that we have a connection with on the show potentially, maybe,
Jo-
possibly.
John, that is a very fun fact. And I was going to add one too, but I didn't even know that one. So thank you for sharing that. What I wanted to mention is that if anybody out there has seen Jennifer Cook O'Toole, she is sort of the mentor on Love on the Spectrum. I had a chance to meet her in New York about 12 years ago, and she has worked with us on different projects over the years. And so, yeah, we have a relationship with her as well. So great person.
All right. With a suggestion, could do a workshop on grant funding or grant writing. Yep, that's possible. Um, Here's a resource, risetheater.org, Lynn Manuel associated with listing theater professionals with disabilities. Good one. Um, how do you get on the email list? Good question. Okay, so on the website, if you go to, let me go pull that up. Here, I will put that in the chat. So if you go to the main AE-NCC website, um, there and you scroll down, there's a section called Easy Ways to Get Involved. There's a link to sign up for the email list there. So,
That's
let's
that's
see. Another resource for disabilities, tricky Medicare and Medicaid tips, asking for disability accommodations. Okay, oh, cool. Yeah, good link there. Um,
I am putting a link to our, gosh, hopefully this will work. Okay. Is this working? I put a link to our first anniversary workshop resource guide in the chat. It's a PDF, it's a downloadable PDF, and it has in there, there's a lot of clickable links. So we have all of our resources, but if you're able to open it up on your computer, it's the links. And one of the links in there, we have all the contact information in there as well. So after this closes out, in case you weren't able to copy down any of the links that were listed in the chat, almost all of them are in there. So including how to get on the email list and how to get connected with us. So if there's anything to click on that, you know, we'll send it out. Also, we'll send these resources out to everybody who registered through Zephy in a follow-up email.
all right. Any more questions? These are good ones. Yep. Well, we have a few minutes left, so we can, if you think of another question, feel free to put it in the chat or raise your hand. In the meantime, we can go on to the next slide. and we talk about our upcoming workshops that we actually have on the calendar. So next month, May 16th, Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, we have a really fun one called Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Filmmaking, featuring my friend and filmmaker Craig McCurry. He is, like I said, he's a filmmaker. He has his own kind of like film home studio that he does film. He shoots movies for himself and other people at. He's been researching the topic of artificial intelligence as it relates to filmmaking for many years. So he has a very he's a lot of knowledge on the subject and lots of things to say. Um, I think he started looking into it originally because he was concerned that one day AI might take his job. So he wanted to kind of know how to be prepared for that, and what kind of what kind of impact it may have on his career. Because he's a professional filmmaker. He's worked both in like not like business related nonfiction stuff as well as scripted narrative things. His latest project is a film called The Singularity Protocol, which you can see on YouTube, and it's like a half-hour film. It's a historical fiction drama about two World War II soldiers who get trapped under a bunker, and they get contacted by an artificial intelligence from the future. So he wrote the whole AI subject into the film. The film features a cameo by me as a dead body. I play the corpse of a Japanese soldier. I'm around the middle of the film. I'm like lying down in a corridor after the main character shoots me. So that was a lot of fun. I got to be that was my acting debut. So anyway, so that'll be coming up next month. Craig is a great filmmaker, great speaker. So I think that's going to be really entertaining. And then in June, I will do an encore presentation of my introduction to independent writing and publishing, partially because the first one I did last year, we had some technical difficulties and we're unable to record the session. So we always kind of had in the back of our mind that we were going to do it again and hopefully get it recorded this time around. So that's going to come up in June, and then after that we'll have more announcements about what the future workshops are. As we mentioned earlier, we had some ideas for what we're going to do, so we'll talk about that in the future. So, all right, so it is time to draw our lucky winners. John, I think you are in charge of this.
So I put everyone's name in here, and so if you do get chosen, if you could hear the contact information and just please please just email us your information so we can get the information to you, or the book or the thing. So I'll put of the bucket. I'll pull
John.
names.
So are we pulling for a t-shirt or are we pulling for a book first?
You tell me what it is.
Let's do a t-shirt.
Okay.
So Russell B.
Woo! Russell B, congratulations. If you can send us your size and your choice of red, green, orange, or purple. Yes, and Brian's modeling the orange. And your mailing address, we will get that out to you.
So you can either send that to one of either Brian or info, which I just put the email. So the next one is for what?
Let's do a book.
J.
Oh my goodness! Yay! I'm so excited. Which book is it? Which book
Thank you
is
so
it?
much for the t-shirt.
So Jay, if you could email Brian.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. Which book is it? Is it Brian's book?
Yep.
It's Brian's
If you
book.
go back to the
Yay! Super.
And I'll
If you go
take
back
a
to the-
red.
Okay, great. And yes,
Wait,
it's the first book, Jay, it's the first book in the Joel Suzuki series.
Woohoo!
somebody
Next
said
one
they'll pick a red.
is-
Who was
Do I
that?
get an autograph?
Actually, we were gonna have it shipped directly from Amazon, so
All right.
So Russell B was what's the red shirt. So
Okay.
you'll need to. I'm not sure size, but they can send you the information. The next one
Okay.
is
We'll do a
for
Sure.
Sure.
Aaron.
Hey.
Heck yeah.
So go ahead, Aaron, and send the information to info@autismempowerment.org with your address and size and color.
All right. I think I'll probably tell my mom about it.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll connect
So
with
the
you.
last one is for a book.
Another Brian Tashima special.
Joshua.
Woohoo.
Congratulations.
Joshua still here?
Joshua, you still
Joshua's
here?
iPhone. It's Joshua's
Is it-
iPhone.
Yep, he's still.
I see him.
Yep.
And I don't see his iPhone, but I do see him. All right.
All right. Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, just send me at brian@autismempowerment.org. Send me your mailing address, and we will get that out to you.
Congratulations, everyone. And we said before at the beginning that that resource guide is free. It's available for everyone. It's going to have the links to all of the presentations on YouTube that we did throughout the year. It's going to have links to the slides that went along with those presentations. So you can always get that stuff at our website, but this is really nice and handy because it's something that you'll be able to refer to all at once at one point in time, and the links are all clickable. So thank you so much to everybody who came. And again, we'll send that PDF and the YouTube. We'll send the link to the replay of this recording also out at the within the next 24, 48 hours.
Awesome. Yeah. So thank you everybody for being here today. It's great to see you all. And I guess have a great rest of your weekend.
Will do.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.